Right, testing. Testing 1, 2, 3. All right, what is up, everybody? It is Skyhawk JD here, and we are here for part testing. 1, 2, 3. My fault. All right, so like I said, and there's Goji. Hey, Goji. So hello, everybody. It's Skyhawk JD here. We're gonna be playing part 17 of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. I don't know about you guys, but I actually believe this is it. This is the finale. This is it, guys. This is it. I believe we're about to finally beat it, and I'm really super excited. All right. So, if you remember from before, I am believing the chief prosecutor has something to do with it. So, we're going to see what's up. But this is going to be really hectic, guys. Just before I continue, I'm going to try and see if I can beat it today. Because tomorrow I am leaving to California because my niece is due for birth around that time, and we're going to go spend time with my brother and his wife and with the new baby. And by the time I come back to YouTube, I will be an uncle. So for you people watching, I want to thank you guys for your love and support during this moment of, the baby announcement. Really excited to welcome this new member of our family into the world. And you know what? This last Let's Play will be dedicated to that baby. Alright, enough said for the intro. Let's go ahead and get started. Let's continue. Make sure I get the volume lowered. February 25th. 9:47 a.m. District Court Defendant Lobby number 2. This is defendant lobby, alright, but there's no defendant. Been trying to reach Lana all morning. Where could she be? Where's Emma, for that matter? It almost seems as if something's been happening behind the scenes. Oh, it's you. Edgeworth! Knowing you, you've already figured it out. Who's the owner of 777-7777? ID number, that is. Well, I have a pretty strong hunch. Looks like I'm not the only one who's figured it out. I'm not the only one to figure it out, and I know you people watching, you figured it out as well. The only reason this trial didn't reach a verdict yesterday is because there was still room for doubt regarding this ID record. If that number does belong to whom you suspect, then no doubt will remain. After all, he hasn't been officially charged with anything. True, not yet. In any event, once all doubt has been removed from that list, I can call for a ruling. 5 minutes, Wright, and Chief Prosecutor Sky will be found guilty. But you didn't do it! I figured you'd say as much. That's why I came here, to hear what you have to say. This is the first time he's ever done something like this. Lana's hiding something, and the only way we'll ever know the truth is to draw it out of her. The truth! Everything goes back to the SL9 incident. Don't be stupid! Today's the last day of the trial. We don't have time to reminisce on the past. That depends on you. If she's found guilty, you'll lose your only chance to find out what really happened. I'll think about it. See you in court, right? Dude, get rid of the frilly scarf. It's not 1989, okay? Or 1912 or whatever. This is it. If I ever want to find out what Chief Gant has on her, it's now. February 25th, 10 a.m., District Court, court number 9. Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Normally, this is when the prosecution puts forth its opening statement. Huh? But before that, the police chief has a proposal to make. Chief can't. Morning, folks! How's everybody doing? Hey, Uji! Been back to the pool yet? He's really addicted to swimming. No, I've been drowning enough as it is in my work. Oh, that's a good one. Don't think I can top that. If you don't mind me asking, Chief, exactly what is this proposal of yours? Wake up. Lana, that is to say, the defendant, has asked me if she could speak directly to the court. She wants to do what? Having heard what she intends to say, I feel she should be granted her request. In the end, it just saved everyone a lot of time and trouble. What is this all about, defendant? I'd just like to make one simple request, and I'll be finished. Well then, what is your request? Your Honor, I'd like you to put an immediate end to this trial. Huh?! I confess to all charges against me. Honey, you're being forced. On February 21st of this year, I murdered Detective Bruce Goodman. Why is that popping up? Stop that. Honey, you're being forced. In the underground parking lot of the prosecutor's office. Okay, I just had a theory. For you people watching, I just had a theory. If he was killed in the detective unit back at the police station, could it be possible that hey Mike, could it be possible that she's in on it, but she didn't kill him? But is it possible that she's in? What if he was already dead when that picture was taken? The moment she stabbed him, could it be possible that he was already dead? I mean, think about it. And I just noticed I forgot to change it to part 16. I'll fix that now. I mean, 17, I mean. But yeah, but continuing on. I'm thinking, you know, something's just not something in me is not adding up. Something in me is definitely not adding up. Let's see. No, Lana! Okay. Hold up. You can't. Your Honor, the defendant's claim does not change the defense's plea. In that case, Mr. Wright, I no longer require your oh, that's cold. I no longer require your services. But Lana! Your Honor, I hereby forfeit my right to an attorney. The prosecution may lack direct evidence against me, but it has sufficiently proven its case through testimony and circumstantial evidence. Hey, Jen. I would like you to render your verdict now, if you please. Honey, you're being forced. Something's not right. You're being forced. Well, the defendant certainly has the right to self-representation. Don't represent yourself! In court, never self-represent yourself. Because you don't know what you're doing, and it never works. Anyway, her request is legally valid, although this is an unprecedented situation. Indeed, it appears there's no further need to continue this trial, even if Mr. Wright may feel otherwise. This can't be happening. It appears the time for the verdict has arrived. God, I miss Maya. This court finds the defendant. Oh, Mike, have you played this game? Mike, you played this game. I know you have. How did you know? One moment, Your Honor. Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution has not yet proven the defendant guilty beyond reasonable doubt. Any ruling at this stage will certainly be premature. Come now, Worthy. I understand this is a difficult time for you. But why don't you be a good little boy and keep your mouth shut? Hmm? I don't think I care for your tone, Chief Gant. What? It's creating another fabrication to cover up your past mistakes. Sorry, but I'm no longer the naive little boy you would have me be. Oh! Burn! With this sudden confession from the defendant, it's obvious to me some kind of deal was struck behind the scenes. Yeah, I knew it! She's being forced! Some kind of deal, Not everyone operates as you do, Worthy. I thought so. Your Honor, the prosecution would like to change its first witness. Oh? To whom? As its first witness, the prosecution would like to call Miss Emma Skye. I request the court hears her testimony. Hold it! Mr. Edgeworth, I am exercising my right to self-representation. Self-representation. I don't think we need to continue. I don't care what you think, Miss Skye. Ah! The exposure of truth sometimes results in tragedy. However, no matter how tragic the truth may be, it would be an even greater tragedy to avert one's eyes from it. Very well. The court shall grant the prosecution's request. That's okay with you, Chief Gant? Worthy, you'll live to regret this. Mark my words. Huh. Wait, you just threatened him. Hold up, you just threatened him. You just threatened a legal court representative guy. What do they call it? Not the prosecution, there's another word for it. Some kind of court man, I don't know. But you just threatened the prosecutor. That's a crime. Miss Emma Skye, please take the stand. Looks like Edgeworth has decided to take the horse by the reins. Now then, witness, please state your name and occupation. My name is Emma Skye. My occupation? I'm Lana's little sister and I want to be a scientific investigator. Honey, we're gonna see you in Apollo Justice. I saw the trailer. 2 years ago, you encountered the serial killer Joe Dark of the Joe Dark killings. Is this correct? Yes. I'm trying my hardest to forget about that, though. Honey, I know how you feel. I'm sorry, but I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to recall those events one more time. Mr. Edgeworth, please remember this trial concerns the murder of Detective Goodman. Is an incident that was resolved 2 years ago really all that relevant? Yeah, it most certainly is. Well, okay then. Okay, he sure gave in fast. Now, please testify about what happened to you 2 years ago. The trip to yesteryear has finally begun. Nobody says yesteryear. It's bound to lead to the truth behind this trial. I was waiting in my sister's office that day. A man came running in and took me hostage. Neil Marshall rescued me. But I'll never forget what I saw in that instant. The man raised up his knife and stabbed Mr. Marshall in the chest. Get out of here! Get out of here! And stabbed Mr. Marshall in the chest. It's a good thing that you weren't harmed. I passed out. I don't remember much. That's understandable. However, please tell me, Mr. Edgeworth, what does this testimony have to do with Detective Goodman's murder? That will soon become apparent, Your Honor. You've got to admire him for his courage, considering he has no evidence. Very well. The defense may begin the cross-examination. 2 years ago. I was waiting in my sister's office that day. A man came running... Okay, so let's start here. Okay, 2 years ago, the defendant was a detective at the police department, correct? Yeah. She was second in command to under then Deputy Chief Police Gant. Deputy Chief of Police Gant. My sister, she was the best detective ever. Yes, I remember. How old are you? Deputy Chief Gant and Miss Sky used to be quite the pair. I believe they shared the same office. That's right. I'd always sit at my sister's desk and dream about playing that organ. I wanted to play it that day too. The police department and the prosecutor's office held a ceremony that day. Why is there an organ in this guy's room in the first place? Lana promised to take me to dinner after she finished her work. I don't think I read that. No, yes I did. Lana promised to take me to dinner after she finished her work. A man came running in and took me hostage. Man? Yeah, a man, dude. A man? Yeah, Joe Dark. He was a serial killer. He looks like your stereotypical bad guy. Like, he looks like a modern day Oh, now I know it! Now I know it! Now I know. Okay, for you people watching, who's watched Hunchback of Notre Dame? Tell me that this guy does not look like a modern day Judge Frollo. Just just comb the hair back, give him a suit and tie. It's Judge Frollo right then and there. He was a serial killer. Joe Dark was brought in for questioning on that day of the ceremony. We were desperate to get anything on him that would lead to an arrest. When he saw his chance, he fled the room, right? Upon fleeing the room, Dark proceeded to take the elevator. He must have been in a panic because the elevator was going up. Then he ran into Sky and Gant's office. There was a lot of noise coming up from outside, so I opened up the door to have a look. That's when I saw him. Neil Marshall rescued me. Hold up a second, something's not right. This right here is bothering me. Can you tell us about that? Mr. Marshall jumped on Dark just then. The lights went out. The lights? It was just about this time of year. There was a terrible storm going on and lightning struck nearby. Yeah, speaking of Judge Frollo, my brother and I would always debate who was the worst villain. Scar from Lion King or Judge Frollo? I'll let you guys in the comments decide that. Anyway, there was a terrible storm going on and the lightning struck nearby. So the electricity went out. Wait a minute. If it was pitch dark in that room, you shouldn't have been able to see anything, right? Right. But just then, the lightning flashed outside again. That sudden flash left an unforgettable image of the scene in my mind. I see. I told the detective about what I saw then. The detective? Yeah, Detective Goodman. He was in charge of the case. Detective Bruce Goodman. The victim. Let's hear more. So you spoke with Detective Goodman about this 2 years ago? Yeah. That's what's so scary about this trial. And you told Detective Goodman about what you saw? Yeah, but at the time, the words just wouldn't come out. That's why I drew a picture. A picture? Yeah, I think she mentioned that before. Oh wait, I already know what it is. That. We're gonna look at that. This picture the witness drew, I believe it has some very important meaning. But the list of evidence I was given 2 years ago didn't contain a picture. Nah. Witness, would you mind if we added this statement to your testimony? Yes, Your Honor. I drew a picture of that scene once, but it seemed to have been lost. Nope, honey, it's right here. Mr. Edgeworth, this little girl put all of her heart into drawing that picture. And yet you would insist on denying its existence. What? Huh? Hey, I'm not the bad guy. All I'm saying is that as the prosecutor for that case, I wasn't handed such a picture. That may well be. But that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Behold. This is the evidence list from the SL9 incident. Yep. Please turn it over, Your Honor. Turn it over? Turn. Ah! What's this? Dude, you're holding it. Dude, flip it. Flip it. Flip it! Flip it! Flip it! Flip it! Flip it! Hey, that's it! That's the picture I drew! Indeed. See, thank you, you flipped it. Indeed. Two men appear to be wrestling here. What is the meaning of this? What are you doing with that list? Me? Only the prosecutor in charge should have access to that list. Huh? These lists, they're different from each other. Wait, what? It would appear, Mr. Edgeworth, that the evidence list you were handed 2 years ago was incomplete. Jen's telling everybody in the comments to shush, she's watching. These two lists fit together to form one. Let me check the volume. Jen's telling everybody in the comments to shush, she's watching. These two... Okay. You can see the marks here where they were torn apart from each other. So you see, Mr. Edgeworth? It's quite obvious what happened. 2 years ago, only half of the evidence in the case ever reached you. What? What?! Order! 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 Okay, okay, okay. Okay, but Miss Sky, why did you draw your picture on the back of such an important list? Oh, you're telling me to shush. Okay, I see how it is. Because that's what Detective Goodman handed me in the questioning room, Your Honor. Wait a minute. If this list was torn in half, then that means... Oh, wait, hold on. I know what he's talking about. Let's check it, let's check it, let's check it. And why do I still have this? Oh, wait, that's not it. Oh, I don't have it. Okay, hold up. Your Honor! Are you alright, Mr. Wright? Your eyes are bulging from your head. If the evidence list was torn in half, then there might be more of the drawing in the back of Mr. Edgeworth's list. Oh, that's a good idea. Yes, it's quite conceivable. Mr. Edgeworth, it's possible. Let's see. Okay, dude, seriously, what's wrong? What's wrong? Is something wrong? Do you even have to ask? That was creepy. Sorry, Your Honor. There is indeed something drawn on the back of my list. It's that thing! Oh God, why is this thing haunting me? That is creepy! This is creepy! That thing is following me! It's that Five Nights at Freddy's thing! This is creepy! Stop with the music. The music's freaking me out. That's the thing! The thing that was dancing in the evidence room. Why is that thing there? Clearly, this is an act of vandalism. Clearly, this act of vandalism is the work of a certain chief of detectives. I guess he was out of scrap paper. Evidence list restored and updating the court record. Stop with the music, it's freaking me out. Would you please testify about this picture you drew years ago? Wait, let me see this. Let me have a good look at this now. That's so eerie. Was it there? That's so eerie. Why is it there? Flip it! Flip it! Whatever. Will you please testify about this picture you drew years ago? Flip It's gonna become a meme. If this Let's Play becomes a hit, Flip It is gonna become a meme. I'm not that big. It's not gonna become a meme. I'm a nobody on YouTube. Anyway, will you please testify about this picture you drew years ago? Huh? Oh, yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor. What's wrong with Emma? She seems to be thinking about something when she was looking at the picture. Witness testimony. Emma's picture. This is the picture I drew 2 years ago. The flash of lightning was so bright, all I could see were the shadows. After that, I must have fainted. This picture shows exactly what I saw in that instant. To think a flash of lightning could burn such an image in your mind. Thanks to that though, she was able to show us exactly what she saw. Well, I don't see any contradictions here. This clearly shows Joe Dark about to murder Prosecutor Neil Marshall. The defense may now begin this cross-examination. Emma's picture. This is the picture I drew 2 years ago. The flash of lightning was so bright, all I could see were the shadows. After that, I must have fainted. This is the picture shows exactly what I saw in that instant. Hold on a second, honey. Let me see something. Neil Marshall. Wait a second! Oh! I caught it! Who caught it? Anybody caught it? Anybody caught it? Okay, look at where it says assessment. Look where it says assessment. Died from blood loss under 10 minutes. Weapon found in wound was missing its tip. That's what she said. But no. But seriously. It said, look. Weapon found in the wound was missing the tip. But he was pierced through the heart and the lungs. Now, what you guys would think, well, the knife probably broke in his heart, right? Right? But I caught. Tell me if you see it. Look. Tell me if you see it. Tell me what you guys see. I'll just tell you guys right now. The stick man that's proceeding to stab the other one. The blade he's holding. Is. It's dull. It's flat. There's no tip. He doesn't have a tip on the knife. That couldn't pierce him. So hold on. That couldn't have pierced him. That has to be evidence. That has to be it. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but this picture the witness drew contains a blatant contradiction. What? But I still remember just like it was yesterday. Mr. Wright, perhaps it will be faster if you would just simply point out this contradiction for us. Pointed? Pun? What part of this picture contradicts the autopsy report? Right here. The contradiction, of course, lies here. Take a look at the knife the man is holding. If you look closely, you can see its tip is broken! Even I don't have to look closely to see that, Mr. Wright. But Mr. Wright, look at the evidence. See the murder weapon? The tip is broken too. If I recall, the tip of the knife was found broken off in the victim's body. It was a conclusive piece of it was a conclusive piece of evidence that proved Joe Dark was the murderer. No. I'm afraid it's not so simple, Emma. And where, pray tell, could you possibly see a problem? It's obvious, really. The victim suffered a single stab wound to the back. Wait, what? I didn't see that. Where did I see that? Death, a single stab wound piercing heart and lungs. Where do you say he was stabbed in the back? I didn't say that. Anyway, it's obvious, really. The victim suffered a single stab wound to the back. If the victim was only stabbed once, then the murder weapon should not yet be broken. Ah! What's the meaning of this? Perhaps the knife was broken beforehand. Sorry, but I'm afraid that's not possible. The tip of the knife was found inside the victim's body. If it was broken beforehand, it couldn't possibly wound up there. That's right! But what does this mean? The tip of the knife was undeniably discovered within the victim's body. The only possible explanation is the witness' memory is mistaken. That's why I asked her so many times that she was sure she remembered correctly. I believe you were annoyed at that time. But she was sure she remembered correctly. But there's no other way to explain this is consistency. Not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth. There's another explanation. Have you forgotten already? About a little something called falsified evidence? You're trending on thin ice, Wright? All I'm saying is that this broken knife tip might be the piece of evidence that was forged. You can't deny the possibility. No. Ah! Order! 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 Are you saying that the investigation was really corrupted? Your Honor, please allow me once again to go over the events that took place the day of the murder. The police department and the prosecutor's office were holding a ceremony that day. After receiving the King of Prosecutors awards at the ceremony, Neil Marshall questioned Joe Dark along with Damon Gant. Are you guys enjoying this? Write in the comments. You guys enjoying this? During his questioning, Joe Dark fled the room. Prosecutor Neil Marshall chased after him and was killed by Dark. It is my belief that somewhere in this story, there is a lie. I'm not lying. The man was really holding up a broken knife. Honey, you just admitted it. You just admitted it! If that's true, then there's no other way around it. This could not have been the actual murder weapon. There must have been another broken knife. What are the chances of there being two broken knives? Another broken knife besides Joe Dark's. Could there have been one more? Yes, yes! I know it already. I know it. If the witness is as adamant about the accuracy of what she saw, it can't just be explained away by a simple observable error. Mr. Wright, in that instant, Emma really did see a broken knife. I assume then that you have some information about this other broken knife? If so, please feel free to enlighten us. The murder weapon was already broken prior to the murder. There's only one way. Take a look at this. Here's the real murder weapon. If anything's broken here, it's you. Huh? I'm sure this all must be very amusing to you, Mr. Wright. Wait, what? No, hold on! Sorry, Your Honor. I thought that was it! Huh. It's that shield. The shield's missing the sword. Okay, hold up. Where's that picture? Ah, there we go. Yep. The answer lies in the past. 2 years in the past. Right here inside this picture. This is a picture of the award ceremony. Ah! What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? It's the broken murder weapon! Notice the award Prosecutor Marshall's holding? That's a broken knife. As we earlier concluded, the knife in the drawing was not Joe Dark's knife. That being the case, the knife the witness saw was in all likelihood from this award. Order! Neil Marshall was awarded the King of Prosecutors that day. As an award, he was given this broken shield and knife. When he chased after Joe Dark, he pulled out this knife. Being a prosecutor, he did not carry a pistol. This broken knife was the only weapon he had in this dangerous situation. But that can't be. Oh? And why not, Mr. Edgeworth? Because if the King of Prosecutors Award's knife was a murder weapon, then the murderer and the victim would have been reversed. What do you mean? I mean, this man raising the knife would have been Prosecutor Neil Marshall. That makes sense. Actually, that makes sense. Oh. Oh! Okay, but the prosecutor was the one who actually died. That's true. What's going on here? It seems Mr. Wright has been a bit too eager to jump to conclusions. Hold it! Wait! I remember now! I remember everything! Witness? Mr. Edgeworth! What is it? Could you show me your evidence list again, please? His list? The one with that picture scribbled on the back? Oh, God. I knew it! This picture... I'm the one who drew it. What? But you told us that. What? You drew that? That's right. The list wasn't torn in half at the time I drew this picture. Stop with the music, please. All this time I've been trying so hard to forget. I must have lost... Flip it! Flip it! Flip it! I must have locked this part away deep inside me. Perhaps it would be best if we added this to the witness testimony. Would you please tell us what you recall, Miss Skye? Yes, Your Honor. First the knife mix-up, and now the blue badger? This should be interesting. Emma's recollection. When I saw that man raise his knife, I panicked and rushed towards the both of them. I think I knocked away the man with the knife. Just then there was another flash of lightning, and that's when I saw the blue badger. He wasn't in the room, but I'm sure I saw its shadow. This is weird. This is certainly most unusual. Try impossible! The chief of detectives hadn't even designed him until this year. That would mean he didn't even exist 2 years ago. Yes, well, the defense may now begin its cross-examination. Whoa! Stop! Please, don't pursue this any further! Lana! What's the meaning of this? Please remain seated in the defendant's chair. But you can't do this! I've already confessed to the... Okay, guys, she's panicking. I've already confessed to the crime. Why can't you just leave it at that? Chief Prosecutor Sky. Ugh. We've already come to this far. It's too late to turn back. Silence! The defense will now begin its cross-examination. Bailiff, please detain the defendant. It seems we're finally getting to the core of the matter. Okay, Jen, I get it. She's going crazy in the comments because I keep saying flip it. Emma's recollection. When I saw that man raise his knife, I panicked and rushed towards the both of them. I think I knocked away the man with the knife. Just then there was another flash of lightning, and that's when I saw the Blue Badger. He wasn't in the room, but I'm sure I saw his shadow. The Blue Badger didn't even exist 2 years ago. So what exactly did Emma see? We've gathered all the evidence. All that's left now is to put the pieces of the puzzle together. Are you sure about this? Of course! See? I drew a picture of him here. But it was a chief of detectives who thought of this, who thought up this hideous beast. He really is a hideous beast. And that was just this year. The Blue Badger didn't even exist 2 years ago. That is all quite verifiable. I know it sounds strange. I was surprised too when I saw him at the police station. I had this nagging feeling that I've seen him before somewhere. Now I finally remembered. Oh brother, just when you thought that thing had caused enough of no commotion. Tell us, where in the room did you see him dancing? He wasn't in the room, but I'm sure I saw his shadow. His shadow? So you mean you didn't actually see his face with its winning smile and all? That's right, but I still remember it. He had 3 creepy horns. This is pointless! That thing could have possibly existed 2 years ago. Couldn't have possibly. The witness must be mistaken. That may well be. What's important is what caused her to think she saw what she did. Oh? And I suppose you have an explanation? If so, please tell us. By all means, tell us what the shadow really was. What was it Emma saw when that lightning flashed? Who is the Blue Badger really? I got nothing. I'm just gonna go just say I might know. The Blue Badger hadn't even been dreamt up when Emma drew this picture. Yet she's certain she saw its shadow. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the defense's belief that on that fateful day 2 years ago, there indeed was something that looked similar to the Blue Badger. Something that is now sitting in this very room. Mr. Wright? In this room, very well, Mr. Wright. What is that the witness saw in that instant? Please show us this I don't know! And 3 horrible horns. Guys, I don't know what it is. I guess it just... Is it the trophy? No, it's not the trophy. It looks nothing like this. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute! The mysterious Blue Badger was in fact this. Oh, so I was right! Why was there blood on it? But that's... what exactly is that? I believe it's some sort of jar. But Mr. Wright, that doesn't look anything like the Blue Badger. It really doesn't, but it's what I got. Indeed, it doesn't. As it stands now, it's just a plain jar. However, what if we were to change our viewpoint? Our viewpoint, I've got to show them the correct angle. Flip it! Okay, okay, no, but for real, flip it. Oh! Flip it! Oh! This isn't right. I gotta make it more look like a badger. Allow me to remind the defendant's case on a witness drawing. If Mr. Wright can't match the shape of the witness... Go for the right angle. Maybe I should just rotate. I gotta show him the correct angle! I did! That's the correct angle! Look at it! I knew it. Well, is this a miracle or what? I flipped it! No one could possibly deny this jar resemblance to the Blue Badger. Please put that thing away! It's creeping me out! No. I can't be! Order! Order! The defense has proven its claim. The mysterious Blue Badger witnessed on the day of the crime was actually this. Although we all enjoy Mr. Wright's dramatic performance, one question remains. What's your point? What do you mean? So that badger thing was actually just a jar. It didn't change anything. No. I'm afraid that's where you're wrong, Mr. Edgeworth. Edgy, like Miguel, edgy. You see, this changes everything. Indeed? Very well then, please tell us. What's different now that we know the witness saw this jar? The murder weapon? Allow me to take these in turn. At the moment the murder, the witness saw this jar. At a very specific angle, I might add, Mr. Wright. Yes, well, knowing this, where could she have seen this jar? Where? The location of the jar is shown in a picture taken on the day of the crime. It's on a shelf in the office of Damon Gant. But the body was found lying near Lana Sky's desk. The witness testified so herself. Yeah, and it is these two facts that reveal what actually transpired. You see, the struggle between Dark and Marshall did not take place in Lana Sky's office. It happened on the other side of the room, in Chief Gant's office. Are you implying the murderer moved the victim's body from Damon Gant's office to Lana Sky's office? Yeah. Why would he do that? There's no reason. Exactly. Huh. If there wasn't a reason, he wouldn't have gone through the trouble. The only logical conclusion is that there was a reason. Do you know what that reason was, Mr. Wright? I finally figured it out. So this is why Lana tried to stop the trial. I don't get it. I wasn't paying attention, I'm sorry. It's too late to quit now, though. Please recall the witness's testimony. She said she knocked away the man that was holding up the knife. In the next instant, the jar was hit and flew through the air. Now tell me, what could have sent the jar flying? That would have been the impact a man made when he was knocked into the wall? Ladies and gentlemen, if I may draw your attention to this picture once more. If the man was knocked in the direction of the shelf, the jar he was sitting on, what would he have hit? Ah! The suit of armor! Holding a very sharp, dangerous-looking sword! Yeah. And since the man who was knocked into the armor was carrying a broken knife, he would have had to been Neil Marshall, wielding the King of Prosecutors trophy. No! Mr. Wright, you can't be thinking! Yep. There is another possibility of what actually transpired in that room. Another possibility? Of course, the perpetrator would have had no idea, but nonetheless... I don't know if I can go through with this. Mr. Wright, what's the matter? If events took place as the defense theorizes, then the outcome is obvious. Oh God. In that moment, assuming the man Emma Skye knocked away was actually Prosecutor Neil Marshall. She did it. You mean Mr. Marshall died because of me? No! Thud. Well, she passed out. She collapsed. I never imagined her testimony would lead to this. So it was the witness who took the victim's life, and then proved so with her own testimony. This is unprecedented. This is I don't know what that word is. What? What are you saying? I'm sorry, Miss Skye, but given the circumstances, Joe Tark murdered Prosecutor Marshall. How can you think it was Emma? How dare you try to pin this crime on her? Imagine that coming from you. If you recall, it was you who admitted to forging evidence 2 years ago. The reason you moved Prosecutor Marshall's body was to keep anyone else from finding out about what Emma did, wasn't it? I assure you, Mr. Wright, I have no idea. Mr. Edgeworth, I assure you, Mr. Edgeworth, I have no idea what you're talking about. If you hope to have anyone believe your insane allegations, I'm afraid you're gonna have to have some proof. Tell me, do you have any conclusive evidence that proves my sister killed Neil Marshall? Evidence? I'm willing to bet you don't. Yeah, it certainly would be difficult to prove this with evidence. If you don't have evidence, then we'll have to rely on testimony. I'm afraid that won't work in this case. Both parties involved in the incident are dead. We certainly can't get dead people to testify. This has to be a wild goose chase from the beginning. Touché, Miss Skye. Of course, that only leaves the one possibility. Ugh! You mean there's still another possibility? What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? I mean the possibility that the victim has left us a message. For better or for worse, Mr. Marshall did not die instantly. He may have left behind the name of the person who took his life. In one manner or another. That's impossible! Well, Mr. Wright, this is the only possibility left to you. A message from the deceased? Does such a message exist? I've got to think back to the court record. Is it this? Found in Chief Gans state, it bears Emma's prints. I don't know what to do here. I gotta think here. Wait a second. The real murderer's name that the victim may have left behind. It's in the evidence. This message from the deceased, it's already in our possession. Mr. Wright! Will you stop at nothing to prove my sister is a murderer? Do not be mistaken, Miss Sky. Our purpose is not to accuse Emma of any crime. There is only one thing we seek. The truth. No matter how painful it may be. Now then, Mr. Wright, please show us this piece of evidence that conveys the message from the deceased. Oh, I have no choice. I'm so sorry, Emma. This is the message left by the deceased. This is the blue badger from before, right? Oh, he's going to just speak the killer's name? If that thing could, I'm sure it would. Looks like everyone forgot. Looks like everyone's forgetting this is just a jar. A message was left here on the surface of this jar. What do you mean? If you look closely, you can see a faint trail of blood on this jar. It looks like someone wiped the blood away. Yes, but notice, for some reason, the blood on some of the fragments was not wiped away. Yes, there is a line here that could be drawn in blood. So what are you saying? Is these dots were once lines? Prosecutor Marshall did not die instantly. He used the last few precious moments of his life to leave behind a message. One that someone apparently wiped away. But blood must have seeped into the jar where the lines changed direction. Precisely so. All we need to do is connect these points. And the victim's message will have become apparent. No, 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 no! Mr. Wright, what kind of message did the victim leave for us? Your Honor, I believe these bloodstains will reveal to us the answer. I've got to connect these dots to make letters. There's only one thing the victim could have written, given the circumstances. His murderer's name. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I'm so sorry, Emma. I know it. I know it. I know it. I know it. Yep. I'm so sorry, Emma. It's a defense attorney's duty to prove their client's innocence. That's why all I've been thinking about is saving Lana. After all my efforts, I never thought it would turn out like this. Emma. So this is the final message Prosecutor Marshall left behind. Of all people, she may not have meant it, and in the end, the one who took the victim's life was Emma Sky. See, Worthy? Can't say I didn't warn you. So he didn't... Wait a minute. Then Is Chief Gant trying to protect Emma? Was that why he said, "You're gonna regret this"? Seaworthy, can't say I didn't warn you. Put the smile away! Chief Gant, don't you understand the implications of what you've done? What? What are you talking about? 2 years ago, Joe Dark was sentenced to death. He was convicted because of his final murder. I believe you were the prosecutor in that case, were you not? Ah! Yes, Worthy. Because of you, an innocent man was sentenced to death. I knew it. Not only that, but you used forged evidence to ensure his conviction. Ah! Hold up! But Joe Dark really was a serial murderer. That's undeniable. I'm afraid that's not important. Didn't you know? We aren't defenders of justice. What? We're merely keepers of the law. Sentencing a man to death, it's no light matter. Even if there wasn't any cover-up or evidence forgery. Ultimately, the responsibility falls on the prosecutor in charge. Ugh. Despite what anyone may say, this fact cannot be denied. What's going on at the prosecutor's office? They might have sent an innocent man to his death. How can he just stand there like it wasn't his fault? Order! 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 The gavel's pounding fell on deaf ears. Unable to settle the crowd, the judge declared a recess. Where this trial is headed, no one knows. To be continued. We're not stopping. We gotta beat this today. Final day. Trial ladder. February 25th, 12:06. This was... I'm sorry, Edgeworth. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to get you in trouble. Don't worry about it. This is my problem, not yours. Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals! Oh. I guess I am. I'll come back later. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? You've got a lot of nerve, pal, making a detective run around while on duty. And to top it all off, you called me here. I've seen happy people at funerals. I take it Lana is having you run errands again? Let me tell you, this is the last time, pal. Here, she asked me to give this to you if there was any break in today's trial. Evidence law. Edgeworth will talk about this just the other day. You must know the two rules of evidence law. Rule 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Is that right, Mr. Wright? It seems so. You could at least study some evidence law, really. The chief prosecutor also wanted me to give you a message. A message? She said, if you're planning to take him on, you're going to need this book. Him. I guess I'll need it. This book I need to give this book a thorough read. Evidence law. Security slipped into pocket. Let's check that out. Rule 1. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Rule 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. Rule 1 condemns... Mike, I'm pretty convinced you played this game, because every single time, you've gotten it right. Anyway. Doesn't look like that book will do you any good now, though. All that's left now is the chief prosecutor's sentence. That's where you're wrong, detective. Huh? Haven't you figured it out yet? Why I'm still sitting in that prosecutor's seat? Despite all these allegations being thrown at me? Mr. Edgeworth. Ha! The real trial today hasn't begun yet. What? What else is there left to do? Your credibility has been but ruined with this forged evidence you're unaware of. Emma Skye found out she unwillingly caused that man's death. And now? You're telling me you want to do more? You've got to be kidding me, pal! Okay, look. You're missing the point, Detective. Lana didn't murder Detective Goodman. Oh. She merely stuck a knife into his dead body. That means the real killer is still out there. What? And we're going to expose him, no matter what it takes. This case has hurt too many people. It's time to bring it to an end. Court will now reconvene for the... Hold up a second. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor? The inquiry committee... Hold up. The inquiry committee is planning to impose harsh penalties for your actions. Thank you for the news, Your Honor. Yes, well... Normally, this is where the prosecution calls forth a witness. But, this isn't easy to say. You see, there is some concern that you, Mr. Edgeworth, may have, struck a bargain? You think I may have manipulated the witnesses? I didn't say that! It's just, you see, everyone's been talking, and... Very well, Your Honor. I have a solution. A solution? That being the case, the prosecution will allow the defense to call all further witnesses. What? But there's no one proceeding for what you're proposing. Undeniably, this is an unusual arrangement, but a very effective one. It would prove that I haven't struck any deals with the witnesses. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you say? Unbelievable. Edgeworth has found a way to continue the trial. Okay, Mike, I get it. Very well, the defense accepts the prosecution's proposal. Then it's settled. The defense may now call forth its next witness. Mr. Wright! You realize this is your last chance. If you call the wrong witness, this trial is as good as over. The defense calls... I already know. Time to bring out the real murderer. Damon Gant? The defense calls Damon Gant to the stand. Damon Gant? What does he have to do with anything? As the defendant's partner 2 years ago, Mr. Gant has first-hand knowledge of the crime. I feel we should hear what he has to say about it. As luck would have it, he should still be in the court. He would also be the least likely to have been manipulated by me in any way. Wouldn't you agree, Your Honor? True. All right, bailiff! Please escort Mr. Gant to the stand. Oh. Witness, please state your name and occupation. What is this, some kind of practical joke? I was just on my way to lunch. And honestly, lunch does sound good right now. Your name and occupation, sir. Worthy, are you sure you want to do this? Your name and occupation! So, you want to play hardball, huh? Please, Mr. Gant! Fine. My name is Damon Gant, and I'm the acting chief of police. Now then, Chief Gant, the court requests to hear your testimony. Oh, righto! What's with the grim face? First, let's clear up this SL9 incident. Oh, you mean the time when Lana's sister murdered that prosecutor? Personally, I think it's been made pretty clear already. No. There are still some things unaccounted for. Oh? Like what? Like the role you played in all of this. Son, either you're very brave or very foolish. You are aware of the course that the police chief... You are aware, of course, that the police chief has all kinds of weapons at his... You're threatening me again. Weapons? Sure. Take my testimony, for example. I don't have to give it if I don't want to. What? Is that true? I'm afraid so. It's well, yeah. You have the. I think it's It's called you plead the fifth. The Fifth Amendment says you have the right to remain silent. That's what the police say when they arrest you. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. The chief of police has the right to refuse to testify. Of course, such an action carries with it certain risks. Oh, don't worry, I'm not here to hinder your trial. Just remember, if this turns out to be a big waste of time, don't say I didn't warn you. Very well, the witness may now begin his testimony. As I recall, Neil and I were questioning him that day. To make a long story short, we slipped up. That power outage didn't help either. When I went to my office, I found Lana there. Apparently she had arranged the crime scene. As you can see, it had nothing to do with forgery. Wait a second. Brother, I caught that. I caught that, brother. I caught that. I caught that, dude. I caught that. I already caught it. I already know you're lying. Is that when Dark was arrested? Him? Oh, he was lying on the floor unconscious. When Emma sent Neil flying, it seems Dark bumped his head. Ah, I see. Everything seems pretty clear-cut. If the police chief has the right to refuse to testify, then I'd better hit him hard and fast. I already know what it is. Crap, 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 crap. Really, man? Then explain this! You claim you had nothing to do with the forgery. But I'm afraid that is a claim you cannot back up. Explain yourself. Several pieces of evidence were found in your office. Take this jar, for example. That's the blue badger you showed us earlier. A piece of this jar was discovered in your safe. Not only that, but the evidence list I presented earlier was actually found inside your desk. It was found where? You see, Chief Gant, these articles of evidence uncovered in your office are both concrete proof that you played a part in this illegal investigation. Chief Gant, what is the meaning of this? Here's a defense attorney who may even rival Worthy. So you admit it? You admit to it then? That you were involved in the forgery? Who, me? Or do you mean you? Ugh, me? Why would I have anything to do with that? Well, you were the one who snuck into my office when you found this evidence. Prosecutors aren't the only ones capable of forging evidence, you know. The defense attorneys can also do that. Isn't that right, Righto? However, Detective Gumshoe was present during the investigation. Worthy, my boy. Not even detectives are exempt from the law. Rest assured, Dick will receive his due punishment. What? If Detective Gumshoe's salary drops any further, he'll end up paying to work. Yeah, well, in light of the detective's presence, please give us your testimony regarding those pieces of evidence found in your office, and their relation to the forgery that took place at the crime scene. My. Kids these days no longer know how to put two and two together. Evidence and forgery. Hey, Mike, give the kids a hug for me. Let's see. What was it now? A jar fragment and a list? For all I know, you could have planted them in my office! Anyway, you can't prove when those pieces of evidence were discovered. If they were found after Dark was convicted, then they're worthless! There's no reason I'd participate in a forgery. Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way. Alright, let's play hardball then. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor. When investigating the crime scene, you should have been more careful to observe protocol. You do understand that I am the chief of police, right? There will be consequences. Oh. Indeed, I believe I will press charges, so you won't make the same mistake again. My apologies, Chief. Would you mind waiting until tomorrow for that? Today is, well, you know. All right, Udgy. In return, though, I know. That place, right? Huh? What are these guys, telepathic? Get off. Blah, blah, blah. There's something that's not... This one right here is bothering me. Really, Chief Gamp? At the very least, there is one very large benefit you reap from all of this. Oh? I wasn't aware. What is this benefit? Ha! That would, of course, be the position you have, Chief of Police. Oh. The resolution of the SL9 incident secured your promotion to Chief. That in itself is a sufficient motive. Oh, that's a good one! Huh? Do you really think I'm that incompetent? What do you mean? Even without that case, I was already in line to become the next chief. The resolution of the SL9 merely sped up the inevitable a little. Is that true, Edgeworth? Yeah. He was going to be made chief anyway. Ah! Be careful when pointing that finger, or you might wind up being the one pointed at. So that means there's only one possible motivation for you to commit forgery. If you didn't do it for yourself, then you did it for someone else. Don't be silly, Worthy. You know me better than that. There are only 3 people I look out for. Me, myself, and I. There! It's out in the open now. Udgy, would you mind if I change my testimony a little? By all means, please do. I wouldn't be anyone's accomplice if there was nothing in it for me. Really, man? Really? Nothing in it for you? Sorry, but the only person I care about is yours truly. That girl, Lana's little sister, was it? If you think I felt sorry for her, you better think again. You're right. You don't feel sorry for anyone. Be tough on crime and tough on people. That's how I was raised. I was raised like that too. Be tough on people who don't deserve your respect. You seem to be lax enough on yourself, though. Oh, that's a good one, Worthy. Could there have always been something in it for him? Given his selfishness, would he have helped someone out? Yup. I already know who. True, you might not help out anyone for their sake. But if it will be benefit for you, you might decide to assist someone. Mr. Wright, it appears you're positively determined to portray the chief as a nice man who likes to lend people a hand. That's not what I mean. Very well then. Who is this person you believe Chief Gant may have helped forge evidence? This is the only explanation. Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye, the defendant! I believe it's quite obvious in light of the circumstances. Emma Skye fell victim to an unfortunate series of events. Who would want to help her more than her own sister, Lana? As for the Chief Gant, he would have also had a reason to help Lana if she asked him to. That reason, of course, is self-profit. Self-profit? What do you mean? After the FCL9 incident was resolved, Lana Skye was appointed chief prosecutor at the prosecutor's office. The person who arranged this job change was you, Chief Gant. But how would he profit from all this? He would be able to use the chief prosecutor as his puppet. Essentially, he would acquire unchecked authority over all investigations. Do you mean to tell me that despite the chief's formidable appearance, he plays with puppets? No, you idiot. Oh, wait. You must mean puppet as in someone forced to do his bidding. Never mind. You're an idiot. Like, seriously. Admit it, Chief. You assisted Lana Skye in forging evidence. Your motivation? To appoint her as chief prosecutor so you could control her. Righto, my boy. You have quite an imagination. Let me ask you something. What? You have any proof of this, that I controlled Lana? For example, is Lana testifying that I've done such a thing? Lana. She's keeping quiet to protect Emma. There's no way she'd testify against Gant. I'm afraid without any proof, this amounts to nothing more than mere conjecture. Unless, that is also what happened in this incident. This incident, or which one would that be? Of course I'm talking about the murder of Detective Bruce Goodman. The chief prosecutor had been acting strange throughout this entire trial. Almost as if someone had been controlling her. Worthy, you better watch your tongue. I wouldn't want you to get hurt. What do you mean? What he means, Your Honor, is that Chief Gant is involved in the murder of Detective Goodman. Not only that, but the Chief is now making Lana take the rap to cover his involvement. What? Order! I said order! Mr. Wright, you can't be serious. Huh? This is an affront to the highest ranking officer in our law enforcement agency. To accuse the chief of police of blackmail and murder? This is impossible! Oh boy. Your Honor, I was merely reiterating what Mr. Edgeworth said in the easier to understand language. It's too late, Mr. Wright. Huh? There's no turning back for us now. It looks like he's the one who decided to go through with this. Can you prove this, Mr. Wright? That the chief, a high-ranking officer of the law, is involved in this murder? Good question. Regardless of his rank or title, Chief Gant is just a man. Question is he a criminal? I believe the evidence will tell. I see. Alright then. Let's see what Mr. Wright's got, and it better be good. I don't got nothing. Show us evidence that ties Chief... Oh! Well, now I remember! 777 7777. That's it! Mike! This is the ID card list. Yeah, the one that shows who entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. There was one ID on the list we couldn't determine the owner of yesterday. 777 7777. Sorry, but there's no way you can prove that that's my card number. It's your number. What? How do you know that? The safe in Chief Gant's office requires a code to open it. A 7-digit code. 7 digits. You don't mean... No. I'm afraid so, Your Honor. The code was 777 7777. The same as the remaining ID card number on that list. Chief Gant, you entered the evidence room on the day of the crime! Oh, look at him now. Guys, this is getting good. Order! Chief Gant, what do you have to say? Nothing. The defense's search of my office was in violation of regulation. And I will demand Mr. Wright be punished to the maximum extent of the law. But right now, this court demands an explanation from you about the use of this ID card. Chief Gant, so you admit it. You entered the evidence room on the day of the crime? What about it? I'm the chief of police. Whether it's the evidence room or the bathroom. What's the difference? I can go anywhere I want. Tell me, when you entered the room, were you alone? I always go to the bathroom alone, as I do with the evidence room. Keeps getting that's disturbing. Detective Goodman wouldn't happen to be with you that day, would he? Of course not! Why would he be? I hadn't seen him in days. You hadn't seen him in days, Chief Gant? I'm afraid you just undone yourself. On that day, you had to have met with Detective Goodman. What do you mean? The trial's purpose is to determine Lana Sky's guilt. No, it isn't, Your Honor. The trial's purpose is to determine the truth. If Chief Gant met the victim on the day of the crime, then we need to determine one thing. What transpired during that meeting? In that case, Mr. Wright, I'm going to have to ask you for some evidence. Show us proof that the victim went to meet Chief Gant on the day of the crime. Oh, I got nothing. Think. Oh, wait, think. Oh! Detective Goodman lost his ID card on the day of the crime. Or to be more accurate, Jake Marshall stole it. So Detective Goodman filed out a lost item report. He would have to have given that report to the Chief of Police! Yet you are in possession of that report. Which means you can't be sure he filed it. He filed it. How do I know, you ask? Because he needed to enter the evidence room that day. He needed to? Yeah. To transfer the evidence out. Oh. Detective Goodman took the form to you, Chief Gant. Then, you accompanied the detective to the evidence room. I accompanied him? There's no other way the murderer and Detective Goodman could have entered that room. Hold on. Let me guess what you're going to say next. I, the Chief of Police, murdered poor Goodman. Exactly. But wait! The Chief didn't necessarily need to accompany him to the evidence room. He could have just lent him his ID card. Yeah. Now that you mention it, I believe I might have done something like that. Objection! Hold up. Sorry, but that's not possible. According to the record, your card was only used once. Yet you showed us your ID card earlier. If you had really lent it to Detective Goodman, it would have been found on his body! Whoa! Whoa! Did you guys see that? Whoa! That was cool! Chief Gant, you did it. The murder was most likely a spur-of-the-moment crime. For not one in their right mind would choose the police department as a place to commit murder. After the murder, you contacted Lana Skye at the prosecutor's office. Why? To dispose of Detective Goodman's body, of course. You're forgetting, Mr. Wright, that the victim's body was discovered in the prosecutor's office parking lot. How did he manage to move it there? I was at the police department the entire day, you know. And everyone's aware that Lana stayed at the prosecutor's office after the ceremony. Everyone except me, it seems. Still, you're the chief of police. You have an entire police force at your disposal. Oh, so you think I just ordered an officer to do it? Hey, you! Take this here dead body over to the prosecutor's office. I don't think so. Chief Gant, you left all the evidence we needed to prove how you moved the body to the prosecutor's office. And all this time, I thought it was a useless clue taking up space. How could the chief have moved the body? Mr. Wright, show us his evidence. To move the victim's body, Chief Gant used this. Is it this? Okay, I got two things. It's that screwdriver or this here. Let's try this. This is how he moved Detective Goodman's body. Oh, a parking stub? Miles Edgeworth? Oh, I was right! You mean the body was found in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. I think it's obvious that what happened, the body was moved by that car! You mean I carried the victim's body? Precisely so. But wait, even you know I didn't plan on returning to my office after the ceremony finished that day. But you did return. Tell me why. Ah! I was asked to go by Chief Gant, no less. He told me he wanted me to keep it here in the prosecutor's office. The screwdriver! In any case, on that day of the stabbings, I brought this back here. So you see, what you were really taking to the prosecutor's office wasn't that screwdriver, but the victim's body in your trunk. Detective Goodman's body was carried in the trunk by Mr. Edgeworth's car? Yep. Unless, of course, you have another explanation, Chief. Why else would you have asked Mr. Edgeworth to transfer this evidence from a closed case? Ugh. There's only one plausible explanation to transport the body to your accomplice, Miss Lana Skye. Order! Order! What's going on here? Is there no room for rebuttal to the defense's outrageous accusations? To think back to the photograph Miss Starr took at the office. This was not a photo of the body being stuffed in the trunk to be taken away. It was exactly the opposite. It's a photo of the body being taken from the trunk. Chief Gant, please say something. I believe your time's up. My time's up? Sorry, Righto, but I'm having lunch with the District Attorney General after this. We have to get going if we don't make it in time. for the early bird special. Oh, don't you try that! But the cross-examination isn't finished yet. Remember what I told you earlier? A police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons like the right to refuse to testify. I'm invoking that right now. What? That is not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered. So you're going to just run away after all this? Run away? Don't make me laugh, Worthy. Ugh. I stabbed old Goodman. That's what you're saying, right? But if you had any conclusive evidence, you would have presented it by now. Well, You think I had Lana dispose the body? If so, then show me your proof and get it over with! I'll say it again, Mr. Wright. Damon Gant is currently I'm stuck. Well, hey, Miguel. Mr. Wright. Mr. Damon Gant. Mr. Sorry, I'm freaking out, guys. This is intense. Mr. Wright. Damon Gant is the chief of police. This court will now tolerate any accusation against him without concrete proof. Mr. Wright, Your Honor, do you have any concrete proof? Proof that Chief Gant murdered Detective Goodman and makes Miss Sky dispose of the body? Oh, we lost 2 people. I'm guessing Goji went to work. I have no proof. I have nothing. I really don't. There's no use showing evidence. I'm not even sure of myself. No, Your Honor. At present, I have no conclusive evidence. Ha! See, Yaji? In that case, this court is forced to penalize you for your allegations against the chief. What? Here's a tip. Never gamble what you can't afford to lose, Righto. It seems that Lady Luck was on my side again today. Okay, Edgy, I'll leave the rest to you. I warned you earlier, Mr. Wright. This is an affront to a senior officer in our nation's law enforcement agency. Whoa! Wait, what? Lady Luck, Maybe we should have a word with her. Mr. Edgeworth, what do you mean? There's one lady who knows the real truth behind this trial. We haven't yet had the honor of hearing her testimony. The lady who... Lana! In the absence of conclusive evidence, the only other method of proof is testimony. But Chief Gant has invoked his right to refuse to testify. There's still someone else, one more witness who can answer all the questions. And resides in this trial, someone right in this very room. Mr. Edgeworth, who is this person? Why are you asking me, Your Honor? Have you forgotten? The defense is the one calling witnesses today. Mr. Wright, does such a witness exist? She may not be willing to tell the truth. You can't just stop now. Yes, Your Honor. The defense calls forth... The defendant? Miss Lana Sky? She was in the underground parking lot at 5:15 on February 21st. Her task, to dispose the victim's body in accordance with a certain someone's order. Mr. Edgeworth? The prosecution has no objections, Your Honor. Very well. The court will now take its final recess for the day. In 15 minutes, we will reconvene to hear the defendant's testimony. This court is now Hold on! Huh? Chief Gant, I thought you were going to eat. Listen good, Lana. He's talking to Lana. I don't think you need me to tell you this, but if you accept Mr. Wright's claims, there will be terrible consequences. Huh. That's right. Your sister will be found guilty for Neil Marshall's murder. Ah! This isn't good. Of course, you never support such outrageous claims anyway, right? Just something to think about. God, you're evil. You're evil. You are evil. All right, then. I've got a lunch date to meet. Ugh. Bastard. Okay, if there are any further objections, this court is now in recess. I need to take a break. I definitely need to take a break, people. I'm beat. We gotta beat this. February 25th. Blah, blah, blah. Looks like we managed to stay in the game. Yeah, thanks to your help, Edgeworth. That chief! He's something... Okay, guys, I'm gonna stop with the voices. My throat is actually starting to hurt. That chief, he's something else, pals. Detective Gumshoe. I'm not a detective anymore. Oh yeah, sorry about that. Don't worry about it. I've already decided where to work now. At your office. My office? Sure. I'll take the place that top-headed girl you used to work. No, you won't. Believe me. Could he mean Maya? Still, looks like we're all out of moves now. Chief Gant's done it again. How is it he always gets the upper hand? It's not fair. He has the right to refuse to testify. Settle down, Wright. Remember what the judge said. But Chief, that's not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered. Risks? What do you mean by that? It's simple. The chief refuses to testify. The opposite also holds true. Do you mean he forfeits his right to say anything too? Emma! Are you okay? Yeah, when I came to, I was in the medical office. I've been listening to the trial from the gallery. So she heard everything that's been going on. Emma, I'm sorry for what I said before. No, don't be. It was the truth. You know, it's funny. I almost feel somehow relieved. Relieved? Yeah, now I finally know what really happened. To think all that time, my sister was being blackmailed by that terrible man. And she did it all just to protect me. Ever since her appointment as chief prosecutor, everyone who knew her said she changed. Perhaps it was easier for that way for her. What do you mean? What do you think I mean? To follow Chief Gant's orders. She must have shut herself up deep inside. To force herself to do anything and everything the Chief told her to do. That must be why she became so cold. It's all my fault. It's all because I murdered Mr. Marshall. Hey! Don't go blaming yourself now! If you want to blame anybody, blame yourself, pal. Chief Gant may be able to fool everyone with his forgery, but he can't fool my memory. I remember now. I knocked Mr. Marshall into that armor. I see. Well, we better get back. It's time for the final act. Emma, why don't you wait? No, I'm going with you. I want to be there when Lana tells the truth. Let's go, Wright. It's time to end this. To be continued again. I'm out of breath, guys. Alright, see ya, Mike. Now then, will the defendant, Miss Lana Skye, please take the stand? Miss Lana Skye, you're the chief prosecutor? I'm sure you're aware of what is required of you. But Mr. Edgeworth, you already know everything. You know about all I've done in these past 2 years. Please provide the court with your testimony, Miss Sky. Alright, Mike, you take care. And remember, you're under oath. You want to hear the truth. Of course. Truth. Lana, no matter what happens, I'll always be your sister. Now then, your testimony, if you will. First, tell us about your relationship with Chief Gant. Everything hinges on your testimony. You're the only chance we have to get Gant. Witness testimony. I worked alongside Gant for years. There is no truth to this blackmail theory. I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. My only motivation was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma. Are you sure about this testimony? Your Honor, I'm confessing to the capital offense. Of course I'm sure. But Lana! If this is true, then that means Chief Gant has nothing to do with this. That's what I've been telling you from the beginning. Please, Mr. Wright, you've got to help her! She's sacrificing herself because of me! What if she's telling the truth? She's not. I know my own sister. Whenever she speaks stiffly like that, she's hiding something. Deep down, she's really screaming in agony. Yeah, this is no time to start second-guessing myself. The defense may now begin its cross-examination. I worked along Gant for 2 years. There is no truth to his blackmail theory. Hold on. So you rearranged the crime scene. Are you sure you didn't do this to keep Emma from looking like the murderer? How many times do I have to tell you, Mr. Wright? Emma didn't do it. Period. Are you so desperate to hide that fact? You're willing to risk the death sentence. She's lying! She did it so I wouldn't be blamed for what happened. In any case, as a prosecutor, what I've done is unpardonable. There's nothing I can do to make up for my actions. Mr. Wright, my sister's lying! Looks like she's determined to protect you to the end. She insists she fabricated the evidence all by herself. There's no way she could have done it alone. I mean, there's no way she could have done it alone. I've got to get Lana to talk more. If she's lying, then she's bound to step up and make a contradiction. I've worked alongside... Let's see this. You say you did this all by yourself. Yeah. Would you mind telling us what you found when you arrived at the crime scene? It seems I was the first person to discover the scene. The broken prosecutor award knife was stuck in the victim's body. What? But Prosecutor Marshall died from an unfortunate accident. That's the only situation you dreamed was possible. The reality is, it wasn't my sister who took Prosecutor's life. Fantasize all you want, Mr. Wright, but I'll never change this statement. You mean Prosecutor Marshall wound up being killed by Dark? Something like that. If that's so, what happened to the other murder weapon? Dark was carrying a switchblade knife. Oh, that was lying on the floor a little distance away. It was probably knocked away in the struggle. That's not how it went down. She's trying to cover up lies with more lies. Hey, that's what happens when you tell a lie to somebody. When you lie to people, you gotta tell 20 more to cover the one you told. And then you gotta tell 20 more for every 20 lies you just said. So one lie, you tell 20. And then the second lie to cover that one, you tell 20. And then third lie to cover that one, and then so on and so forth. Because if you tell one lie, you tell 20 more. It's for those 20 lies, you have to say 20 lies for every single one of those lies, and yeah, blah, 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 continue on. All just to protect me. So when you found the scene like this, what did you do? After all, this is what everything boils down to. Yes. I broke the tip off Dark's knife and plant. Wait, how'd you do that? You planted the tip of Dark's knife in the victim's body, and then you moved it? But why? Why would you do that? You of all people should know, Edgeworth. You've always had a good head on your shoulders. Ugh. My head isn't that bad, but maybe I ought to ask for the sake of the others. What should I ask? Why did you move the body? When you showed up on the scene, where exactly was the victim's body? It was where you deduced it was, by Chief Gant's desk. But the body was found by your desk. Why did you move it there? And wouldn't there be a blood stain, like streaking from all over the floor? If you drag a body, the blood will be all over the floor. Whatever. The reason for that is simple. Let's have the witness explain this in more detail. The reason Miss Sky moved the body. The pieces of the jar that shat... Whoa! No, it didn't! No, it didn't! No, it didn't! Miss Sky, I understand how you feel. You committed that crime 2 years ago to protect your sister. You mean that forgery at the scene where Neil Marshall was murdered? If that truth were to be exposed now, the past 2 years of your life will have been in vain. Even so, I'm compelled to bring everyone's attention. A significant contradiction within your testimony. A contradiction in my testimony? You testified, and I quote, "The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan." That's right. Do you have a problem with that? It's a simple oversight, really. You see, a message was written on this jar with the victim's blood. Yes, the prosecutor must have written it in his final moments. Exactly so. And this is where the contradiction lies. In order for the victim to be able to write his message on this jar, it must not yet have been broken before he died. He couldn't have written him his name on a shattered jar. Order! Order! Your Honor. Excuse me. Your Honor, it would appear more information is needed in regard to this jar and its bloody message. We may be missing something critical here. Something critical? Chief Prosecutor, it seems you're in the dark as we are. About the truth towards which you're headed. What? Just tell us exactly what you saw. We'll piece together the information to arrive to the truth. Very well. The witness may now continue her testimony. Jar and messages in blood. I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar, but it was dark in the room. I didn't have time to check it out. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. The fragments were large. Oh, honey, contradictions right in my face. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered. Yeah, good one. You mean you were the one who wiped away the message in blood? I wasn't the chief prosecutor at the time. She didn't think Dark was the real murderer. That's why she tried to erase the real evidence. Very well. The defense may now begin its cross-examination. Jar and message in blood. You didn't, honey. Look. You didn't. Miss Sky, I believe this jar conceals a truth even you were unaware of. What? We found the final piece of the jar in Chief Gant's safe. In Chief's safe? But how? I knew it. She really didn't know. There's something even more disturbing about that final piece. There was still blood on it. But the witness just testified that she gathered every last piece and wiped off the blood. Yeah. Which leaves us only one explanation. On the night Prosecutor Marshall was murdered, you were not the first one to show up on the scene. Chief Gant got there before you! But couldn't the defendant have simply missed a piece? I'm afraid that's unlikely. The pieces are too big for anyone to miss, let alone an ace detective. That may well be, but everyone makes mistakes. Even I wasted an entire day looking for my dentures. They're in my mouth all along. Okay, that's embarrassing as hell. Have you forgotten, Your Honor? When this witness arrived at the scene, the jar was already broken. Oh, that. There's no way a name could have been written in the shattered jar. Another person discovered the scene prior to the witness. I hope you're not implying this person was Chief Gant at the time he was looking for darts downstairs. Besides, even if he was there first, why would he break the jar? The question is, if he did arrive there first, why did he hide the fact for 2 years? Well, Your Honor, can you answer us that? No! Wait, I'm not the one on the trial here. Damon Gant arrived at the crime scene prior to the witness. He proceeded to break the jar, and purposely hid one of the broken pieces. The question: what is this action called? Fabrication of evidence? But why would the Chief Gant do that? In light of what happened afterwards, isn't it clear? What happened afterwards? Discovering the scene, Lana Skye believed her sister, Emma, killed the victim. Determined to help her sister, she sought Gant's aid. Lending her his aid, Gant helped her create evidence that incriminated Dark, sparing Emma, and therein lies the reason. The reason why Miss Skye became the Chief's puppet. I saw that. That had to hurt. No, I did it on my own. Please, sis, stop trying to protect the Chief. I can't watch you suffer anymore for my sake. No, you didn't. It wasn't you, Emma. You didn't kill anyone. Don't believe anything Mr. Wright says. The defense attorneys makes up foul lies to defend their clients. Foul lies? Imagine that coming from my own client. I guess you do seem the type who likes to twist the truth. Wait a minute. What if we're still smack dab in the middle of Gant's trap? Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Lana may be right after all. What do you mean, Wright? So you do tell foul lies there, Mr. Wright? Miss Skye, please testify once more. But if evidence was fabricated behind your back, then Emma's accidental killings of Prosecutor Marshall might also be a lie. But I do remember knocking over Mr. Marshall. Miss Skye, if you will. I can't. There is nothing to be afraid of anymore. This cross-examination may not change a thing. However, there's a possibility that it will if you tell the truth. Very well. I'll testify about what I really saw. All right. The witness may testify once more for the final time. Witness testimony about the actual crime. Man, we're doing a lot today, guys. When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled in a suit of armor sword. Emma and Dark were lying unconscious on the floor nearby. When I saw what happened, I thought she did it. That's why I erased all the evidence that linked her to the murder. I had Chief Gann help me remove the body from the sword and carry it. But if it really was a fabrication, Emma might be innocent. Unbelievable! The body was impaled in the armor's sword? You were the only one who saw that. If only you had proof. Actually, I do have proof. Huh? I gave it to Mr. Wright just this morning. What? To me? It's a picture I took of the crime scene as I encountered it. I thought it might be needed, but I don't remember receiving a picture like that. Lana must have known. See, Mr. Wright, she really does have faith in you. Very well, Mr. Wright, please present this picture. I don't remember receiving any pictures from Lana. Lana said she gave it to you this morning, right? I seem to remember getting something from her then. Let's check the evidence again. There must be a picture in there somewhere. Well, it's this. Evidence law. Let's open it up. Huh? Whoa, that's brutal. That's gruesome. Hey, there's a picture in here. Damn. Oh. Oh my. This is the actual crime scene. No other detective saw the crime scene like this, because I contacted Criminal Affairs only after I rearranged everything. Let me see something. I noticed his vest has been ripped off. I noticed his... Okay, the volume's good. Mr. Wright! That piece cut off from his vest. Could that be? The cloth we found inside Gant's safe. Yep. What's this? I knew it. This is a handprint, isn't it? That cloth, it had fingerprints on it. Whoever fingerprints those are must be the real murderer. What? But those fingerprints are yours, Emma. Why are your lips turning all purple, Mr. Wright? Anyway, let's get on with the cross-examination. So long as you tell the truth, we should be able to flush out the real murderer. The defense will begin its cross-examination. Actual crime scene. When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled in... Whoa, that scared me. That scared me. You? That scared the crap out of me. That made me jump. Come now, Edgy. This is the poorest excuse of a trial I've ever seen. Chief Gann. What? Now you wanted to make me out as the bad guy too? If so, I'd like to put in a word or two in my defense. I'm afraid it's too late for that. What? You already declined to testify. That means you forfeited your right to make statements of any sort. This must be that risk we were talking about earlier. Just sit back and relax. And enjoy the sound of the noose tightening around your own neck. Dang it! I missed it! I was gonna take a picture of that. Hopefully I got it that time. So what? You think I'm worried? Ugh. Sorry to disappoint you, but I don't need to make any statements. What do you mean? The evidence will do all the talking for me. Even if I can't testify, I can still present evidence. Yes, that's true. Wait! You mean you still have some conclusive evidence? Nope, I don't. But someone does. Someone? So, what's your excuse, Wright-o? Why have you been keeping quiet about it? You do have something to show us, right? Something that proves who knocked over Neil Marshall, causing his death? Conclusive evidence that leaves no room for doubt. Is this true, Mr. Wright? The cloth. The cloth. But if I show it, it's going to make her guilty. If I show that piece of evidence now, it must surely be made out as the murderer. Mr. Wright, if you have any more evidence, present it now. And if you try to conceal anything, you'll be the one appearing before the Board of Inquiries. What do we do now? I better think this through carefully. I can't afford to make the wrong decision. Should I present that piece of evidence? The one that shows who really... No, I'm not doing it. Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at a point like this. What? You lie! Chief Gant? You opened my safe! I know you took what was inside! That conclusive evidence! I don't know what you're talking about. Mr. Wright, why don't you show them? We found it together. Oh, I see. It's because you know the truth, don't you? You know whose fingerprints are on it. That's why you present it. What are you talking about, Chief Gant? Can't you figure it out? Take a good look at this picture. See the victim's vest? Notice anything odd about the chest area? It looks like part of it's been cut for some reason. You mean you had this in your safe? What? That means you, the chief of police, have been concealing evidence. This is going to be the biggest scandal in the history of the police department. You just dug your own grave. Impressive. To be honest, I didn't think you had the gall, Righto. Huh? Well, I can't just let you pin me as the murderer. I'll tell you what really happened. What? You mean you were gonna admit to it? I was the first person to arrive at that crime scene that day. Sorry, I gotta mess with my phone. That's why I got quiet for a second. It then occurred to me that I could use the situation to control Lana. So you really were manipulating her! I knew Lana. If I made it look like the blame lay with her sister, that's when she saw the scene, she would ask for my aid. So you assisted Miss Sky. I told her to arrange all the evidence. I had her plant the knife tip in the victim's body and move the body across the room. And I ended up using that evidence to get Joe Dark convicted. When I tampered with the crime scene, I hid 2 pieces of evidence. This is before Lana arrived on the scene, mind you. 2 pieces of evidence. You meant those items in your safe. But why? For insurance, and of course. Insurance? I was sure my plan would work, but it's always best to be prepared for the worst. I wasn't about to let anyone blame me for the murder of that girl committed, I'm sorry, not say convicted. You mean you were calculating that far ahead while forging the evidence? What do you take me for, a fool? I didn't make the police chief by dumb luck. See this jar fragment? I hid the most eligible part of Emma's name. I didn't expect Lana to go and wipe the blood off the pieces. But if you fabricated all the evidence, what's to say you didn't fabricate the message on this jar too? Some people just don't know when to quit, do they? That's why I kept one more item for assurance. You mean that piece of cloth? Come on, Righto. Cough it up already. I know you have it. What are you waiting for, Mr. Wright? So you made it to it then, Chief Gant. Now you were hiding the cloth you cut off the victim's vest in your safe. Yes, I admit it. I didn't want to have to do that being the chief and all. But it's a lot better than being portrayed as a murderer. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say for yourself? Just a moment ago you said you didn't have any evidence you could present. Foolish move, Righto. You should have shown it then before it was too late. It's been a long battle. But the moment of truth has finally arrived. As long as I don't mess it up, Victory is mine! Your Honor, I do have evidence to present now. Alright then, let's see this conclusive evidence. The evidence shows who actually murdered Prosecutor Marshall. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece from the victim's vest. You finally brought it out into the open. There's a handprint on this piece of cloth. Your Honor, the prosecution requests that it immediately be sent to the lab for analysis. This handprint on the leather, there must have been a strong impact for it to be left so clearly. You mean it could not have been forged? It must be authentic, conclusive evidence. You're as slow as the uptake as ever, Worthy. What? Think about it. Wright had it in all his time to present this evidence. Yet he was reluctant to do so. Why would that be? Huh? You mean you already know? You know whose fingerprints are on that? Mr. Wright, do you really know? Whoever the fingerprints belong to must be the real murderer. Whose fingerprints are they? Very well. I'll tell you. Dang, this is getting crazy. Should be okay now. Everything's proceeding as it predicted. The person whom these fingerprints belong to is... Emma. Emma Skye? What? They're mine? I'm sorry, Emma. But why? Why didn't you tell me? You're really something, Wright. You knew this girl did it all along. And you still tried to pin the murder on me. So it's true. Tragic, but true. This girl really did shove Prosecutor Marshall into his death. Hold it! How could you? You monster! Miss Skye? You knew whose fingerprints there were all along, yet you acted like she really didn't? Miss Skye, it's not over yet. What? I said this trial isn't over yet. Ha! But I'm afraid it is over, boy. Not only this trial, but your career, too. You purposely concealed this conclusive evidence. That, my friend, is a serious offense. I'm looking forward to pressing charges after the defendant is convicted. I'll have your badge, boy! What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? Aren't you going to tell us how it feels? How it feels to be the one single-handedly turned into a poor little... how it feels to be the one who single-handedly turned a poor little girl into a murderer. Before I do that, there's just one little thing I have to clear up. Oh? And what's that? Who really killed Prosecutor Neil Marshall? What? Chief Gant, you're absolutely right. This piece of cloth proves who the real murderer is. Who killed Neil Marshall, you ask? It was Emma Skye, wasn't it? I'm afraid that's not possible. You see, this piece of cloth contains a critical contradiction. What? A contradiction? What is this fool babbling about? I'm talking about a contradiction. One that proves who the real killer is. Mr. Wright, this piece of cloth, what could it possibly contradict? Chief Gant, your tyrannical reign ends here. Behold, the piece of evidence that contradicts this cloth. What do you guys think? You people watching, put in the comments. What do you guys think so far? I already know what it is. It's this. And what exactly is this supposed to be? This is the picture Miss Skye took. Take a good look at it. See where the pieces of his vest was cut out? Yes. His shirt is showing underneath. It's hard to make out with all that blood on his vest, though. Exactly my point. It's soaked with blood. His chest is soaked with blood. It's only natural. His lungs, no doubt, were punctured. Blood poured out of his mouth. Oh, but that piece of cloth... Wait. There's no blood on it. I knew it. Ah! Since Emma Sky's fingerprints were on this cloth, there's no doubt that she shoved the prosecutor aside. However, Mr. Marshall was not impaled on the sword at that time. No, this is nonsense! Now then, Chief Gant, let me ask you something. Prosecutor Marshall was not impaled when he was shoved aside. He most likely hit his head on the ground when he was knocked out. If so, then tell me, who could have been? Who could have arrived at the scene before Miss Lana Skye and picked up the unconscious prosecutor and impaled him on the armorer's sword? Then, to make it look like Emma was responsible for the prosecutor's death, the said person proceeded to write her name, Emma, on the jar with the victim's blood. A jar that they broke on purpose to leave behind a clue. And make Lana believe her sister did it. Remember what you admitted only moments ago? That you personally cut out this bloodless piece of the victim's vest. Ironic, isn't it? Through the very act of creating insurance, you prove that you were the actual murderer! Nah! Got it. Got it again. It's finally all over. Objection! That was close, Ryder. You almost had me. But you're sweating. Sorry, but you'll have to do better than that. I refute your allegations. What do you mean you refute his allegations? You see, that piece of cloth, it's illegal evidence. Order! Order! What nonsense is this? Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a suspect. Remember, Udgy? Earlier, Wright here concealed that piece of cloth. So then, what's your excuse, Wright-o? You do have some conclusive evidence, do you? Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time. Well, that's true. The defense did refuse to present evidence. At that moment, that piece of cloth ceased to be legal evidence. But that's not fair! Did you actually think you could best me in court? For a final boss, this is pretty fun. It looks like the last laugh's on you, son. I'm afraid Mr. Gant's claim is legally correct. Well, Mr. Edgeworth? True. Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a person. Assuming, of course, that the evidence is indeed illegal. Huh? Well, Mr. Wright? It seems that I know what it is. It's the book. No evidence, unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. The time for me to reveal my plan has finally arrived. Mr. Wright, do you admit to it? That you purposefully and illegally concealed this piece of cloth? Nope, I didn't. I admit I refused to present it at one point. So the evidence is illegal. No. No, it isn't, Mr. Gant. Huh? It's not that I didn't present the evidence then. It's that I couldn't. What do you mean you couldn't? There are certain procedures involved in presenting evidence. No, Udgy, don't listen to his lies! He is nothing but a coward! You can't really believe! There is only one issue left to be resolved in this trial. Is this evidence legal or not? Very well. Let's settle this once and for all. Earlier, you refused to present evidence. If you can prove your conduct was not in violation of the law, then do so now. Don't mind if I do. This is my proof, Your Honor. Evidence law. What's this? I've done my homework too, Chief. Indeed, Emma Sky's fingerprints were on this piece of cloth. However, at that point in time, this was merely a piece of cloth, nothing more. What? You see, it's written right here in this book. The second rule of evidence law. Ugh. Rule 1. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. I found this piece of evidence myself, inside your safe. It goes without saying, I did not have approval from the police department. Rule 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. And here's the crux of the matter. You see, at the time, it was impossible for me to prove the relevance between the cloth and the SL9 incident. What? What kind of nonsense is this? You want relevancy? Just take one look at this picture and... Sorry, but can you recall when was that picture presented? That was shown only a few moments ago. No! He's right. At the beginning of today's trial, that piece of cloth was still meaningless. That person who gave it value as evidence was you, Damon Gant. Ugh. You yourself confessed to a certain truth. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest? Oh, yes! No! It was then that you approved this cloth as conclusive evidence. Yes, you, the chief of police, personally approved this cloth. The only person who could have cut this from the victim's vest is the one who stood before Prosecutor Marshall in his final moments. In other words, the real murderer, there's only one person who that could be. Damon Gant! The killer was you! Okay, he lost his mind. He lost his mind. He lost his mind. I'm live! He lost his mind. Give me 1 minute, people. I'm very sorry. Hold on a second. Sorry about that. They heard me laughing. They thought something happened. Sorry about that. Where were... So I'm glitching out now. Okay, continue. I knew I should have gotten rid of him. That good-for-nothing scum. For 2 years, he's been snooping around the department, trying to get something on me. Crimes are being committed every day, yet he insists on hounding me. Well, your crime wasn't exactly petty. He wanted to reinvestigate the case. He recruited Angel Starr, then convinced Bruce Goodman. Detective Goodman? Yeah, that's right. If evidence is transferred, I'll lose my only chance to find out the truth. Please, you gotta help me. Goodman turned him down, as he ought to. Still, Jake Marshall didn't know when to quit. He stole Goodman's ID card and tried to take the evidence. Goodman came to me that day. He wanted to file a lost item report. I went with him to the evidence room. And all of a sudden, he decided to speak out. What are you talking about, Goodman? Can you please reopen the investigation, Chief? We can't transfer the evidence out. There's too many questions left unanswered. He opened his evidence locker, and as he was taking evidence out, he said, "It's not too late. I'm gonna hand all this over to Marshall." Well, to be honest, I was a bit taken aback by his words. I had a bad feeling when he came to see me. I never thought he'd bring up SL9. That's when I saw it. The accursed knife. You're smiling through all this is just sad. I just couldn't pull it out. That's what she said. That was bad of me. I'm sorry. Doing so would have only led to more blood, making it near impossible for you to hide your crime. Even so, blood was just pouring out. I didn't know who might stumble in, so I hurried in to wipe it up. I was worrying so much about the floor I didn't realize my fatal mistake. The bloody handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker. I used to be known as the crime computer, but everyone has to start somewhere, I guess. I was too nervous. I had no business doing any of it. Then you put the body in my car? I'm sorry, I couldn't think of any way to move the body. I broke your trunk. What's the big deal? You make a lot more than us detectives ever will. Leaving the prosecution's car aside, how could you get Miss Sky involved in all this? Well, she had as much to lose as I did if the truth came out. So you took the evidence from Detective Goodman's locker. I felt bad for having to do it. I also didn't have the time to choose what was to take. So, you left the jar fragments in the glove. Yeah. It looks like I was better off being an investigator of crime than a committer. They all did their best to get in my way. Got to hand it to them. They do their jobs well, much to my dismay. Fake evidence doesn't hold up very well upon close examination. You must have known that. Tell me, Worthy, why do you stand in court? Me? You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me. We're the same. One day you'll understand. Oh, believe me. You will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try to go it alone. Well, looks like it's time to say goodbye. Oh, Udgy. What? Looks like we'll have to cancel that lunch date. Sorry, old friend. I'm sorry too, Damon Gant. I knew you as you used to be long ago. You were once a fine investigator, an example to others on the force. I'm sorry to learn that you were no longer that person. Those days are gone now, Udgy. Thanks for all the memories, though. Don't worry, you'll be fine. Now you have Wright here. And Worthy. With these two around, you can't go wrong. In fact, I can hear them already. The melodious sounds of a new beginning. These are two things I want you to understand. Yes? First, your sister never hurt anyone. Second, Damon Gant betrayed you from the beginning. You see, Miss Sky, you no longer have any reason to keep silent. You're right. When this trial is over, I'll tell everything. All that I've done these past 2 years, the time I had Gant help me forge evidence up until today. So, it seems all this questioning raised in this trial have been answered. I'm sorry, Miss Sky. I couldn't get you out of your trouble. What high standards you have for a rookie. Huh? I can see why Mia thought so highly of you. Who knows? A few years from now, you might just make it to the top. She smiles. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. Miss Sky. And to you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You've suffered every bit as much as I have over the past few days. Believe me, I know how much of an ordeal it's been for you. It was nothing. You're blushing. Liar. I was worried the pressure might break you. And yet, you rose above it all and guided Mr. Wright to victory. You've done well, Mr. Edgeworth. Stop it. I only did my job. In light of this case, it seems a good self-examination is in order for all of us. Miss Skye? Yes, Your Honor? You are innocent of murder. However, although the Chief blackmailed you, the fact is you still acted as his accomplice. A trial will be scheduled for those crimes at a later date. Yeah, I understand, Your Honor. Is there something amusing about all this? Why are you smiling at me? It's been a long time, Your Honor. A long time since I felt free of these heavy chains. Well then, this trial has gone on for far too long already. Regarding the charge of murder, this court finds the defendant, Lana Skye, not guilty. It's over, everybody. It's over. That is all. This court is adjourned. At long last, it's finally over. Emma? Why the long face? I'm sorry your sister didn't get completely off the hook, but at least she wasn't convicted for a murder she didn't commit. No, that's not it. Just now, after the trial ended, I can see why Mia Fey thought so highly of you. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. And to you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You've suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days. You've done well. You know, I did my best too, but Lana didn't say a single word to me. Hopefully I'm not interrupting anything, pals! Oh, I guess I am. I'll come back later. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? You're doing this on purpose, aren't you? Making a detective run all around while on duty. To top it off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. Hey, lighten up, pals. I'm only kidding. Oh? Are you here because of my sister again? Nope. Not this time. I came today because of you, pal. Me? That's right. I thought you'd like to see someone. Lana! Should you be doing this? She's still under arrest, you know. Well, I won't tell if you won't. Emma, I owe you an apology. It's okay, sis. Don't worry about it. That day 2 years ago was the first time in my life I ever panicked. It was all I could do not to keep myself from screaming. All I could do was about keeping you from getting wrapped up in that mess. Sis, I asked Gant to help me cover up the truth. I thought I was doing it for your sake. But now, I realize I was wrong. Huh? It changed after that day. I had to. It was the only way I could make it through these past 2 years. I knew how much I was hurting you by distancing myself. But I couldn't bring myself to tell you what I did. I was scared. I was scared that you look at me with those eyes of yours. I was scared of how you reacted to me. But sis, you were only doing it for me. No. Huh? I turned my back on you that day. I was hiding what I believed to be the truth. I was deceiving you. Sis. Such a fool. It took me all this time to realize it. Emma, I'm so sorry. But sis, you don't have to apologize. I'm happy now. You happy? Of course. You know, sis, I always knew that one day you'd come back. And now you have. Oh, Emma. Emma. Oh, that's sweet. Let's stop keeping that picture. No one can change the past. The only thing we can do is strive to make up for our mistakes. Why must we make up for our mistakes, you ask? Because in doing so, we can find the way back to our rightful path. And it is from there that we can move on towards a brighter future. At least, that's what I felt watching the two sisters make up. Mr. Wright, Mr. Gumshoe, me? Thank you both for all you've done. I'm sure we'll meet again someday. Isn't that right, Edgeworth? Edgeworth? Stop hiding and come here. Where was he hiding? I just came to say, congratulations. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. Right. Well, I'll be going now. Mr. Edgeworth, I hope you don't blame yourself for what happened. Huh? We were the ones who acted corruptly, not you. It's too late for me. Huh? No matter what anyone may say, I realize today that I can't correct my mistakes. Mr. Edgeworth, not only that, but I don't even trust myself anymore. Chief Gant was right. You despise criminals. I could feel it in you. You and me were the same. One day you'll understand that. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it is to what it really takes to bring them down once you try to go it alone. I do despise criminals. I plan to dedicate my entire life to fighting them. But in order to fight crime on my own, I need a weapon. It's scary, but I've known that to be true for quite some time now. But Edgeworth, who knows? Given enough time, I might have tried to pull something like Chief Gant did. That thought terrifies me. That's why I can't continue on as a prosecutor. Wait, what? Edgeworth, don't you understand? Damon Gant and your mentor, Manfred von Karma, were both the best of the best when it came to fighting crime. But they both made the same mistake. What, they let their ego get to their head? You said in order to fight crime on my own, I need a weapon. That may be true, but think back to today's trial. You weren't alone. You were working together with Mr. Wright, and because of that partnership, you were able to present evidence that otherwise would have gone undiscovered. Isn't that right, Mr. Wright? Huh? What? Oh, yeah. What's this, a pop-up quiz? Come on, Mr. Wright, show me what Lana's talking about. Evidence, huh? Something that neither Edgeworth or I would have been able to find on our own. Let's think. So, what's the evidence? What's the evidence? Alright, let's think of the evidence right now. I'm trying to think. What's the evidence? Something that neither Edgeworth or I would have been able to find on our own. I think it's this. I could be wrong. That's the picture. Oh, it was that. Okay, that's the picture I drew. Our counterattack began with this. You had one half of this and I had the other. Apart, wouldn't have been able to completely restore Emma's picture. That didn't just happen by chance, Mr. Edgeworth. It's time for me to go. Mr. Edgeworth, if you'll excuse me, there are some things at loose ends I need to wrap up. Take care, Chief Prosecutor. Edgeworth, what will you do now? Well, whatever you do, just remember, you can let what happened. You can let what happened to kill the prosecutor in you. You can't. You can let what happened. You can let what happened to kill the prosecutor in you, or you can let it help you grow. In the end, it's up to you. I know. Seems like you're my thanks too, right? What I face now, it's my problem. Edgeworth, I'll be waiting for you in court. Farewell. I better be going too. Okay. I'll be by to visit soon. Seems we both have a lot to learn and catching up to do. Here, this is a little something for you. Scientific Investigations? It's the first book I ever bought. Study it well. Thanks, sis! I will! And so, another case came to a close. As for the sisters, I have faith. Faith that their lives have only just begun. And as for me, I think it's time I started on a new journey of my own. A journey to rediscover myself. Well, don't go tracking off just yet, pal. Huh? What is it, detective? There's just a little matter to be resolved about the chief prosecutor. You see, she isn't supposed to be out of jail like this. But I thought you said it was okay. Yeah, well, it may be okay with me, but the folks at the prison are a different story. Huh? Basically, I had to bribe a guard in order to sneak her out for 30 minutes. Believe me, it wasn't cheap either. Huh? Way to go, detective. Then we got a wild side. Yeah, well, ha 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 ha. You see, Mr. Wright here is the only one who'd be footing the bill. Huh? What? You think I could afford it with just my salary? You gotta be kidding me, pal. Huh? Thank you, Mr. Wright. You're the best. Why is it I suddenly feel like I want to scream? Hey, I got an idea. Why don't we all go to Pay It Off together? Yeah, that's a great idea. Come on, guys. Let's go. What a great game, guys. I arranged for a friend of mine to take care of Emma. I know she'll be pleased to study under a top coroner. As for me, this affair has pretty much ended my days in the prosecutor's office. Still, I'll manage to find my way back to the field somehow. Then, I'll be able to investigate crimes together with Emma. What a game, guys. What a great game. This was really epic. Yikes. I thought I was a goner for a moment there in the end though. They overlooked my unauthorized investigation of the chief's office. If he penalized you anymore, it would be worse than firing. Yep, that's what they said. Just goes to show, you can't shave me off that easily. I think I'm going to read the rest of the cutscene of the credits, guys, but dang. This is a good game. This is a very good game. I hope you guys really enjoyed parts 1 through 17 of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. We have completed this game. And now, oh god, it's you again. My new mission's a guard, can you believe it? I've been demoted to a security guard. My partner's keeping an eye on the entrance for me today. I'll show them though, someday I'm gonna make a detective. Yes, sir, I can be just like that Dick Gumshoe. As I was saying, this is a good ending. We completed the Phoenix Wright 1, guys. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. And who knows, I might see you guys in another Let's Play. But let's go ahead. I'm not going to... I hate that thing. So before I leave, I want to tell you guys two things. One, I'm going to take a long break from doing a Let's Play. I'm going to California. Going to see my niece for the first time. I'm going to really enjoy it, and that thing totally deserved falling over. I'm going to see my niece. It's going to be a good time. Follow my Twitter. It's under SkyhogJD, or look for Jonathan. That's me. I'm going to release a poll out. So you people watching the live stream and you people watching later on, there's going to be a poll up on Twitter. Should I do this whole game or just this one? The poll will be up probably tomorrow. But once again, thank you guys for all your love and support in on this journey with Phoenix Wright. We'll watch the credits together, guys. Looks like we won't be seeing each other for a while. As a farewell gift, I put a new meal on the menu. The Right Way lunch. That's funny. The top layer tastes as bitter as defeat, but the bottom layer is as sweet as victory. Kids seem to dig the turnabout theme. It's a hot seller around exam time. Just make sure not to eat it backwards. Yeah, don't eat it backwards. That's funny. But guys, I want to say it one more time. Thank you. This was an epic, epic adventure. And hopefully we get to have a lot more after. Just to let you guys know, I'm planning for this Halloween to do Outlast 2 Let's Play. But like I said, I won't be doing live streams anymore unless it's a big event. Alright? The rest will be regular Let's Plays. So I want to thank you guys so much for all your love and support. It really was awesome. Man, a lot of people made this game. Maya! Ah! Nothing soothes the soul like fresh country air. Still, sometimes I do miss hearing you and your objection. Still, I can't go back until I'm a full-fledged spirit medium. Mystic Maya, afternoon training is about to begin. Coming! Well, see you around, Nick. Wow, I guess everybody's saying goodbye. This was an awesome stream. Mr. Edgeworth. Oh God. Mr. Edgeworth? I brought you your tea. Huh? What's going on? Thanks for coming to see me off. I can't believe I'm going to Europe. Thank you, Mr. Wright. Thank you so much for everything. I'm a little sad, but I'll be alright. Whenever I want to see Lana, all I have to do is open this book. Aw, that's sweet. That's sweet. That's sweet. One more time, guys. Thank you so much for watching my Let's Play of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. It's really been awesome, guys. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next Let's Play. This is Skyhawk JD signing off. Like and subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Goodbye, everybody. And thank you so much.